There we go. Okay, so my name is Laura Pfeiffer, and I'm so glad you guys are here. Just in case you don't know my story, I just wanted to kind of go into that a little bit because every one of us have a story, and I can't wait to hear your story one day very soon. But I was introduced to oils in different various ways, but I really started to learn more about the oils in 2012. And it was because of Clarity that somebody accidentally left this at my house. And there we go. And because of that, she left it, and I opened the bottle and I started smelling it. And I loved it. Like I fell in love with this oil, and I didn't know what to do with it. And so I had a Scentsy burner at my house. I'm just being real here, okay? And
kind of rude to be like.
Do you think I thought I muted everybody, but I'm hearing sound. I don't know. Okay, sorry. So anyways, I had a Scentsy burner. I didn't know what to do with this oil, so I just thought, well, instead of that wax, I'll just put the oil in there. Don't do that. But so I did that, and I'm like, I kept having to refill it, and I just put my head over it because I love this oil so much. So anyways, long story short, that was my first Young Living oil. Most people's first oils are probably not Clarity, but for whatever reason, my body just loved this, and I still love this oil to this day. And I just put some on so I could talk to you guys tonight. I love to put it right here so I can have good, clear mental focus. So I signed up in 2012. I went over to Cricket Lott's house, and I told her I wanted to sign up for oils. Wouldn't that be so fun just to have somebody just call you out of the blue and say, I want to sign up for oils? I was thinking about that today. I'm like, I need like a lot more people like that. So I went over and got started. And then as I was walking out the door, she said, hey, there is like a business side to this. And I said, oh no, I will never do that. I've tried those things before and they don't work. And then I left. So needless to say, I went about and did my thing the next couple of years. And here and there, I shared the oils with different people. I happened to share them with Amanda, Loretta, Kim Newman. So there's a few people that I shared that ended up being in my front line. And I'll teach more about that in a minute. And long story short, they ended up all being builders. Now, did every single person that I signed up end up being a builder? No. But those names that I just listed, they are builders. So what we did is we kind of ran together. Hey, Dave.
Hello.
Hey, glad you're here. Okay.
Thanks.
So we went ahead and we started running together. I told Cricket that I would have her come to my office. At that time, I had a conventional business. It was a health spa in Holt. And I said, I'll let you come to my business if you want to teach classes here. And she said, okay. And so I said, well, let's do it twice a month and just see what happens. So the first class, I invited people, Loretta invited people, Amanda invited people. My office wasn't very big. It was just one room. And it ended up, we had a packed house. So that night we had several new members that signed up after Cricket did her class. And then it just kind of started to evolve from there. We had more classes and more classes. And this power of Facebook was a huge help for that. And word of mouth. And so we decided in July, Amanda and Loretta and we were going to do what we call the Super Saturday. And I took one Saturday with Amanda and one Saturday Loretta, and we did several classes together. And that month, they both went executive, and I went silver. That was in 2014. So remember, I signed up in 2012. It was October 2012. So my story is I went slow, but then once I started doing things and talking to people and sharing things, it went fast. So I guess you can say slow and fast together. I got off my butt and decided I was being selfish if I wasn't sharing my love of these oils and what they were doing for our family. I decided I needed to start sharing. So that's what I did. I just started telling people why I fell in love with the oils. Once I had done other things. So I don't know how many people have done other things in the past. But one of the things that I did that I found successful was when I taught, I used to do Creative Memories, a scrapbooking company, and I don't know if anybody's familiar with that. But I had some success in that company. It was not a network marketing company, and it was a direct sales. So I can explain what the difference is there. So the direct sales is where you're actually selling a product, and you might have a team of people below you, but it's not residual income like Young Living is. So I had a team of people, and I earned trips in that company, but it was constantly selling scrapbook products to people. And the one thing that worked in that company for me was that I consistently taught 10 classes a month. And so my thought process went back to those days, and I thought, well, 10 classes worked back then. I wonder what would happen if I did 10 classes a month for Young Living. Well, let's just try it. I don't know. So I sat down with my family, and I said, look, and this was after I read The 4-Year Career. If you haven't read that book, I strongly encourage you to pick that up. It's just a very small, thick, or thin read. I loved it. It has all Young Living stories of people's stories, and everybody's story is different. So after I read that book and noticed the 4-year career, so plan on 4 years to develop your business and how much you can put into it, the same as a college degree, normally 4 to 5 years. If you're putting that time in, what is it going to get you? And I thought, well, I wonder what would happen if I taught 10 classes for a whole year every month, how fast that would get me. I had no idea. So I decided, let's just try it. So I did. I told my family, I said, give me a year, let's just see what happens. So Jim started taking over all the kid responsibilities. While I still had my conventional business at that point. So there were certain days I blocked off to work at my office, and then there were certain days I devoted to Young Living. And like I said, I taught 10 classes. I'm not saying that you have to teach 10 classes. You don't have to be crazy like me. Everyone has their season of life, and I always tell my people, whatever you do, just stay consistent. That's all that matters. So if you do 2 a month, 4 a month, 6 a month, whatever you pick. So I just chose 10. I don't know. I like that number. It was just good for me. So I started driving the roads in my minivan. Drive. I drove all over teaching 10 classes a month. Did I have packed classes every single time? No, absolutely not. I had no shows. I drove all the way to Battle Creek one night. This was in between my silver and gold months. And I had a no-show all the way to Battle Creek, and I'm driving home crying, thinking, is this going to be worth it? Should I keep doing this? You know, I could be at home with my family. You know, all these things were going through my head. But I'm like, no, it's going to be worth it. Like something just said, keep going. So I did. I just kept driving the roads, sharing. And so between a 9-month time frame, I went from silver to platinum during those 9 months that I committed that to. So really, you have to just decide in your mind, how fast do you want to build this? Where do you want to go? I didn't really have a whole lot of, Cricket and I talked all the time, and she's an amazing support. But she and I didn't have a big support upline. Like, not that I see from other teams. Not that I don't love our upline support, because I do. It just is so different. And so nobody taught us about stacking. Nobody taught us how to build, really. We were just kind of, can I say crapshoot? Well, I guess I just did. But it kind of really was because we didn't really know what we were doing. So it kind of turned out there are things that I would have done differently if I would have known. And there are things that I would continue to do today if I had to rebuild it all. And would I do it again? Absolutely. So let's talk about, so my point is whatever you choose to do, just be consistent and be persistent. Don't ever quit because this is amazing. So it's been worth it. Okay, so back to residual income. So I talked about direct sales. So I did that, and then this is so different because with residual income or network marketing, this is where you build an organization and you have income that comes in every single month. I used to like to call it, and I still do, but times have changed, mailbox money, because I think it's fun to get a check in the mail, and instead of always getting bills and junk mail, once a month you get a check in the mail. I mean, I just think that's kind of fun. So I confess I did not do direct deposit until I was after gold because I really liked getting those checks in the mail. But so anyways, that's the difference between network marketing, where it gives you residual income instead of something that's like direct sales, which could be like scrapbooking or bags or, I don't know, purses, those kind of things, okay? And the nice thing about Young Living and why it's so different compared to other network marketing companies is that it has something for everyone. We have things for babies, elderly, all stages, seasons of our life. We have products for them. So it doesn't even matter. As long as you have a body, that's all that matters. We have products for you. So that's the neat thing about it, that we just have so many different products that appeal to so many different people because everybody wants to be healthy and focus on wellness, and that's our main purpose and our main goal is helping people feel good. Okay. Let's go to the compensation plan. So if you have not ever looked at our compensation plan, we have, you can Google this. It's called the income disclosure. And then we also have the comp. I don't know why I don't have the comp right here in front of me, but I have the income disclosure. Okay. So let's talk about the income disclosure since it's sitting right here. And this one that I actually have a copy of, maybe you can see it, I don't know. This one's from 2013, but they came out with the 2015. So go to that one when you Google it, okay? And you'll see like what the average rank makes. So they say that 92% of the company are buyers. And when you're building your business, that's one of your goals is to always have buyers on your team. You will always want buyers. And that's people who are consistently buying and loving the products every single month. Now, you're not always going to have builders. About 8 to 10% will be your builders. Okay. So kind of focus on that depending on where you are in your business right now, or if you have a team or if you don't have a team. Everyone's situation here is different that I see that's on the call. So kind of just remember that. It always helped me too as I'm growing, as we're growing together as a team. I'm like, you're only going to have so many, you need so many buyers. So, okay. So out of that, the first rank is a star. And a star is someone with 500 OGV. What is OGV? It's overall group volume. And then you have your own personal volume, which is called PV. Or yeah, PV. And then a star is someone with 500 OGV. Now, oftentimes I can see people who hit star all by themselves with 500 OGV. If they were had a big month of purchasing, they can do it by themselves. Now, Also, a star could be someone who has 100 PV, and then they have a team of people who are also purchasing as well. So it just depends how you get to that level. Now you start to you get paid on levels. So you have your levels 1, 2 at first when you're a star, and then senior star, it drops down to level 3. So a senior star is someone who has 2,000 OGV, and their average income is around $200 to $300 a month. So a star is someone who earns an average of about $75 a month, and then senior star, it goes up. I always try to get people to senior star pretty quickly, because once you're a senior star, you're to the point where you can start paying for your habit. And that would be your oil habit, okay? And so I always love to have people be able to support their stuff. I mean, get your products for free. That's always feels good to me, and I love that for you guys. So that makes me super excited for you guys. And then we're going to move on to executive. Executive is someone who has 4,000 OGV, so overall group volume, and they have 2 legs at 1,000 each. So this is when you're starting to get serious about really building and thinking about different legs. Now, when I say legs, that would be the people who you placed in your front line. So, for example, for me, it would be Loretta, Amanda, Kim Newman, Cassie, and Jen. And Jess is here. Jess is in my front line. And I just put Devin, my son, in there too. So I think I have maybe 13 or 14 people total in my front line. But those names that I just named are my legs. Devin doesn't have anybody below him. So he's, but the rest of the names that I just said, those are my legs. And in order to get to Royal Crown Diamond, you need 6 solid legs to get there. And so those are my 6 solid legs that I think I just named everybody. Yeah. And so you guys, a part of Freedom Seekers, you guys are a part of those legs. So when you're building your business, you're going to put people in your front line, and then you're going to start being able to stack people as well. But we could talk about that in a minute. Okay. And then silver gets you to 4,000 OGV. No. So sorry, that was executive. Silver is 10,000 OGV with your 2 legs. So like your 2 executive legs now become your 2 silver legs. Now I've had those flip before. You might have a 3rd leg that kind of takes over a different leg. That's normal. But those 2 legs need to be at 4,000 OGV. Okay, and then we have gold, platinum, and silver, or diamond. So executives, they earn an average of about $500 to $600 per month. So that's really good, solid income. That can be paying for your 300 PV order, covering all of that, and then some. So at this point, you're able to start to pay for bills and do different things with your executive money. So this might be a good short-term goal for you, depending on how much, what your kind of short-term goals and your long-term goals are. Now silvers, they earn anywhere from about $1,500, I would say, to $2,500 to sometimes $3,000. Just depends where they're at in their business and how many people they have on their team. But an average silver consists of around 125 people. So if you kind of keep that in mind, that's about an average silver. So, all right, so I think that's where I'm gonna stop is tonight. Maybe we'll do another call on the higher levels, but we'll just talk about getting you guys to silver first, okay? And then to gold. I'll check my time here. Okay, so I want to talk about income producing activities. You guys are going to hear me talk a lot about this, IPAs, and exactly what is that. So in order to grow your business, you're going to want to focus on sharing. Now, sharing versus selling. Let's talk about that too. So sharing, to me, is being passionate about why you love the oils and why you love the toxic chemical-free products. So it's just sharing from your heart and your stories. People resonate with your stories. Depending on if you're teaching a public class where you need to really keep your story as compliant as possible versus teaching it at a kitchen table around somebody's house, you can talk freely. Mary Young said we can talk freely. Nobody can control what we say around a kitchen table, okay? So anyways, so definitely share your love of oils versus just trying to find that next person and signing them up. Just kind of put that off to the side and just know that what you're doing is you're sharing your love of the oils and your passion. And your passion is going to shine through, and people are going to want to have what you have because they see the change in you and how things are going for you. So, okay. Income producing activities. We're going to go back to that. So I definitely recommend when you're starting your business, look at your schedule. How many classes can you teach in a month's time based on your life and your circumstances and everything? Like I said, I did 10. I don't tell my people to do 10. If they want to do 10, I've seen people do 10. And those are the people in our organization that went really fast. So it just depends on if you have the time to do it or if you don't. If you want to commit to 2 classes a month, I commend you for that because that's 2 more classes that you hadn't taught before and you're sharing with people. If you want to do 4, do that. 6, do that. Just whatever it is, you have to make it up in your mind that you're going to do it, and then you just start doing it, okay? And don't feel like you have to know everything to start teaching. You don't, okay? My classes, I keep super simple, and I've taught my 101 class the same way, probably the last 2 or 3 years, exactly the same way, because you want to make it duplicatable for others. So when they see you teach something very simple, they're like, oh, well, I could do that. Look how simple that is. And you want people to be able to follow that. So that's why I try to keep things really simple. I don't want to overwhelm them. So I just really focus on keeping it simple. And think about, you don't have, classes could be one-on-ones. Doesn't matter how many people are at your classes. If you have one you're sharing with somebody, they become a member, awesome. I love one-on-ones personally with people because in my mind, that's just a little more time I get with that person and it's quality time. And to me, a one-on-one is an automatic sign up in my brain. Now, has it been every single time? No. I still have people tell me no. Happens, but you have higher chances when you do one-on-ones to get those people to be like, oh yeah, I want to use your oils. Yeah, definitely sign me up, you know. And so they'll sign up for their kit. Different ways that have helped me over the years is using the product. Fall in love with your product, become a user of your product. I have definitely rolled Deep Relief. That is one of my top 5 favorite products in Young Living. I have rolled Deep Relief on people's shoulders or on their necks so many times I can't even tell you. I own tons of Deep Relief and I just like, they're like, oh, you know, I'm like, oh, here, try that. And everybody loves this. I've had so many signups because of Deep Relief. So fall in love with your products. I've had people sign up because they've used my Thieves soap in my bathroom. They're like, where do I get that? I've had people sign up because at my old office, I was diffusing in my office, and they came down the hallway from another office and said, what is that? We can smell it all the way in our office. They said, sign me up. So you never know how you're going to attract people. But just using your products and being a user and letting them smell you, It was awesome. I have had one of my most awkward situations for a sign up, and I'm just being real here, is I was lying on the exam table at my doctor's office having my yearly, okay? And she, I don't know, I had just put on like Stress Away and I don't know, probably Deep Relief and Baby Peace and Calming. I don't know. I just was like oiling up because that appointment is just, nobody wants to do that, right? So they're like, whoa, you smell so good. They love when I come to the doctor's office. I go once a year. They're like, oh, we can always tell when you're here. And I always give everybody oils there. So anyways, yeah, having my exam, and my doctor says, oh, well, I want to be on your team. What do I got to do? So she signed up for oils. I said, well, let's finish this first, and then we'll get you signed up. So that's probably my most awkward sign up ever. So just share with everybody. They will come. I promise. Okay. All right. Just kind of looking through my notes here. And also, your excitement is going to shine through, and it's also how you present yourself. You present yourself with confidence, and you're smiling, and you're happy. People are going to gravitate towards you versus someone who is like extremely grumpy and someone who maybe not that friendly. You know, just kind of always think about how you present yourself and how people perceive you. That's just always helpful, because as long as people trust you and you give off a good first impression, they will want to be on your team, and they'll want to be on this oil journey with you. So that's always helpful. And always keep in mind, when you're building a network marketing company, it's always about relationships. So you want to focus on relationships with people, and don't just jump right in. Let's just say you have a one-on-one with someone and you're just getting down to business. And depending on how well you know this person, right? I've met with strangers before in my one-on-ones, and I've met with people that I know. So I don't always just jump right into business. I just sit there and talk with them. You know, just how's their family? Get to know them. Ask questions about them. People love to talk about themselves. Just ask tons and tons of questions about themselves. They will love that. They want you to know more information about them. So always put a focus on them. And once they have a built-in trust about you, then you're going to go so far with them, and they're going to become a member on your team, and they're going to want to join you on this journey. Okay? Okay. I also recommend, as I'm coaching people, is to think about your list. So if you're just started and you've never built a business before, or you haven't shared Young Living yet, I always recommend you build a names list. So if you think about, and when I'm coaching people, I always say, so do you think in a month's time you could come back and have 100 names on your list? And I always wait for people to give me a reaction. Some people freak out, some people don't. So depending on if they freak out, I bring it back to 50. If they say sure, I'm like, do that then. So just kind of go through your names list of people that you want to share. Now, I do recommend don't prejudge anyone, okay? Because I don't know if Esteban is on the call tonight, but Esteban and I went to high school together. He's a member on the Freedom Seekers. And would I have ever thought to share my oils with Esteban? He's a big, burly dude. And so was I prejudging him? Yeah, probably. Like, I don't know. I just would have never thought. And one day on Facebook, it was at Christmas time, I said, hey, who would love some samples of this oil, called Christmas Spirit? The first 5 people who want samples, I'm going to send it to them. And so I did. Esteban was one of the first 5 people. I'm like, okay, let's do this thing, you know? So the next thing I know, let's see, I drove to Ionia, and Esteban came to my class, and that would have been in February. So December, he got the samples. February, he came to the class, and I think by March, he signed up as a member. And he loved the oils, and he just took right off. And now he has a really nice team, and he's still going strong. So anyways, my point is, don't ever prejudge anyone. Even if you don't think they're going to be interested, they might be. And if you prejudge them, you might miss out on a really great opportunity. They might go over to somebody else's team. I've had that happen. That's going to happen. It happens, okay? One of my good Young Living friends, we went on trips together, her and her husband and us. She's on a totally different Young Living team. She's not on our team. And she always says, man, I wish I was on your team. I'm like, I know, I wish you were on my team. You know, I have several friends who are not on my team because they went either with somebody else or I didn't share in time with them. So just keep that in mind. Do you want your friends on your team or do you want them on somebody else's team? I'd write their name down, okay? All right, who's people that you could talk to? Your landlord, your photographer, your lawyer, your minister, your massage therapist, your chiropractor, your nurse, PA, your doctor, your dentist. So there's just like a large list of people that there's always going to be people. So if you ever think that you're in a saturated area, don't ever believe that. Gary and Mary's Young's goal is that they want to have, their mission is to have Young Living in every single household across the entire world. That means that we will never be saturated, and don't ever believe that. That term, saturated, is just, I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to say it's like an excuse, but if you feel like your town is saturated, which I live in a quite heavy populated area of Michigan, for those of you who are not in Michigan, near the capital. And so we have lots of people in this area. I will never consider this area to be saturated. And I have a lot of people in this area on my team, but there's so many people. There's people out there that have never even heard about these oils. So don't ever think that it's going to be saturated, okay? And if you feel like it is, for whatever reason, drive to the next town, and then drive to the next town, and drive to the next town. Keep sharing. Go out and talk to people. Share, share, share. Go have booths at farmers markets and events that you can have events at, booths. There's all kinds of events that are around. So anyways, just go meet people. Talk to people. All right. And let's talk about stacking, okay? Because I get this question. I was never taught this because, like I said, Cricket and I just didn't have that. And so, I don't know, can you see this? Okay, yeah, I think so. All right, so this would be you as you're building your business. Remember I talked about legs? So like this would be Amanda, this is Loretta, this is Kim, this is Cassie, this is Jess, and this is Jen. So there are my 6 legs. Okay, so this is what you're going to have. So kind of put different people's names in here if you have a team already. If you don't, this is where you'll start thinking about legs. And this is how stacking starts. So once you have your 6 legs, then you're going to kind of identify people who are excited about the oils. People who want to have a class. Now, people can have classes and not even say they're a business builder because they just don't know it yet. They just want to share their love of class or of education with their friends and family. So what I recommend is as you're scheduling classes with either your team or people that are not even on a team or not with people, I always recommend that you schedule 2 classes with them. Because what happens is they're going to set a date for a class and there's going to be a lot more people that they invite to their class that can't come. So it's better to have 2 classes with that person. If you're going to do it within a month's time, maybe pick one at the beginning of the month and one towards the end of the month, and then pick like maybe one of them's a weekend and one's a weeknight, because some people weekends work better to come, some people weeknights work better. So it all depends, but it gives you and them more options to have more people come out of their friend circle. So you're going to be teaching classes for your legs and working your business within their people. So it's not all these people that you know. This is some of your frontline are the people that you generally know, but then these are the people that you're going to be teaching these classes for. Okay? Classes can be online, classes can be face-to-face. That's how I built mine, was classes. And I'm a huge believer of classes and one-on-ones. Okay? So I hope that's helpful. And then stacking. So as you have your 6 people, and let's just say these 6 people are all interested and they're holding classes and different things, then you can decide as you're personally still enrolling, because you'll always want to still continue to enroll. You'll enroll people at the beginning a lot more than when you kind of get up to my stage. I still enroll people, and I always think that leaders should always enroll people at least 2 a month. Some months I have higher, and then some months I have lower. But so then when I take people, I stack them and I stick them in my legs pretty much where I need it. And you guys will do the same thing. Depending on if you're building your executive legs or your silver legs, that's where you're going to start putting people. Let's say you're working towards executive. So then these are your executive legs. You'll start to stack people in these legs and work with these top people to hold classes. Kind of like what Loretta and Amanda and I did. We all partnered together and we ran together and we taught classes together. So that one Super Saturday, I loved that whole concept of Super Saturday. If you guys ever do it, I strongly encourage it. For me, I loved it because remember how I set a goal for 10 classes? Well, if I'm out for one Saturday and I teach 2 or 3 classes, well, there we go. I was really productive for my month. That gives me more time to be home. So in those Super Saturdays, I have to tell you, that Super Saturday with Amanda, that was a totally kick butt Super Saturday back in July, because that's where we met Christy Buechler and Colette. I knew Colette and went to school with Colette Moreland. So Colette had a class at her house, and every single person in that room signed up, and they all signed up for ER that day. And don't worry, out of that Super Saturday, we had another class that day. We had a no-show. And I don't know. And then the next class, I think maybe we had maybe one person. So I'm not saying you're going to have these classes that are going to have all sign-ups every time. But I'll just always remember that Super Saturday with Amanda, because that was the group of people that we met. And that we all just talk about that today. And Chrissy is almost a gold now. So I'm telling you, just push yourself out there to teach the classes, okay? So I hope that helps with stacking. Okay, we've got 20 minutes. I believe I covered every single topic that I said I was going to cover. Let's make sure. Okay, so I would like to go ahead and open it up for questions, and then the last 5 minutes of the call, I have a call to action for you guys, and I want to talk to you about a really cool incentive that I'm offering, and I'm really excited about it. So, okay, so I'm going to unmute everybody. There we go. Okay, I'm gonna content.
Or like, I don't know what to do.
Okay, All right, I muted you guys because I don't know what noise was going on in the background and that sounded crazy. So how do we want to do this? How about you guys? There's an option to flip questions into the chat if you see that. And then there's also something about raising your hand. Do you guys see that on the screen? You can raise your hand. Let me know, and I want to unmute by people and kind of see what kind of questions we had. But I can't unmute all of you because there's 34 people on this call, and it was really loud. We had a loud background. So
We can just unmute ourselves.
oh, yes. Thank you. Oh, my word. I'm real tech savvy here. Oh, okay, yes. Unmute yourself. Duh. Thank you. Okay, good. So, Jerry, do you have a question?
I do.
Okay, good. I didn't say I was good at tech. All right, here we go.
So, well, you said that silver is approximately 125 people.
Yes.
Okay, so do you have numbers for the other levels, like executive, or just kind of trying to see where I'm fitting in?
Yeah, that's a good question. I've never thought about numbers for, I mean, an executive would probably be, because it just depends if you take the full 6 months to get to executive when you hit executive, or if, I guess it just depends how quickly you go executive. Like, I ended up doing executive, I think, to silver, was it 2 months or 3 months? 3 months? Something like that. So probably at executive, I would say an average is maybe 70 to 75 people.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So a senior star, I don't know, it just depends. I have people who are senior stars that have a lot of people on them. It's just because they haven't built their legs out yet. So it just depends. Good question.
I just have one more if I can.
Yeah, yeah.
You said there's some things you do differently. Can you elaborate a little on that?
Yes. So when we were building, we were taught, we used to have this Silver and Six old program, and where we focused on building to silver first, and then you focus on gold. And so luckily, I got lucky somehow, and yes, I built fast to silver, but then I started going right away into gold, and I already had some people established over in gold that I was teaching classes for over in that leg. And so that's why I could go from silver to gold in 3 months. It's because I had already been teaching classes. So my recommendation now is don't just focus on 2 legs, but focus on many different legs as you're building a solid foundation. Go out and teach classes in this person's leg and this person, because as you do that, your OGV is going to grow, but then also your legs are going to just naturally start to take off. And so that's how I was able to get from silver to platinum in that 9 months time frame, because I was building in all of those legs. So great question. Thank you. All right, anybody else that want to unmute yourself and talk to me?
Hi, Laura. This is Sherry. Can you hear me?
Yes. Oh, hi, Sherry. Yes.
Hi. I'm very, very new. I've been in this for 3 weeks. I got started in it for my horses.
Nice.
I have 2 very nervous Nelly horses, and I tried everything.
Okay.
So my question to you is, when you say you've been teaching classes, what are you teaching?
So I was teaching to get to those ranks. I stayed with primarily one-on-one basic classes. So I was teaching that over and over and over and over again.
But what was the content?
The content was, we call them our 101 classes, where it's all the starter kit. I just taught on the starter kit, and I encouraged everyone to purchase the starter kit. And so that's what I taught on. Now, I would teach here and there advanced classes, maybe what's next after your starter kit, or because you're an animal lover, you might consider, like, kind of think about what your niche is and where do you want to go. Trying to think what I considered my niche. I liked health. I liked talking. I still like talking about detoxing and natural health. That's kind of my niche, where I kind of came from and where my background is. But yours might be your farm and your animals and your horses and different things like that. And Sherry, you live in Mason, right?
Yes.
I'm in Mason. You and I are not far from each other.
Oh.
I saw
good.
your name come through my downline viewer, and I'm like, ooh, Mason. Just had to say that. I remember when you signed up. So yeah, cool. Any other question? Welcome to our team, by the way, and I'm excited for you. So I know that you signed up under Julie. So Julie's
Yep.
going to be awesome to go partner with Julie, run with Julie, and she'll teach the classes for you. And eventually you're just going to start teaching your own classes.
Okay.
Yep. So she's great to work with.
Yeah, I've known Julie a long time.
Awesome. Yay. Okay.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Anybody else?
Hi, Laura. It's Brenda.
Hi. Hi, Brenda.
Hi. Hi. I was asked a question by one of my downlines, and it was Silver and 6. When does that take effect? Is that from executive to silver?
Mm-hmm.
Or
Yep.
is that from star to silver?
So just in the last, I want to say year. Yeah, year. They implemented a new program, and they started from the moment you hit star to the moment you hit executive. If you want to qualify for their Young Living's gifts, it's called E&3 or something like that.
Yeah.
And you have 3 months to hit that, from star to senior star to executive. And I think they're going to gift you an Aria diffuser, I don't know. I don't remember all the gifts. We have people, Freedom Seeker, who have done that, several people, especially in Canada. We had a lot of people do that. And so, but from the time Silver and 6 program starts, that's when the moment you turn executive, and you have 6 months to hit silver. So,
Okay.
good question.
That answers my question.
Good. Anybody else?
So you just have to hit it? You don't have to stay at it for 3 months?
Oh, okay. So to earn the silver trip, you have to maintain that rank for 3 months in a row. So you might as well hit it and stay at it, because once you hit it, that's month 1. So you only got 2 more months. And once you maintain that for 3 months, you're pretty much staying consistent as a silver at that point. I mean, some people have lost it, but most people stay consistently that, which is good. So, yeah, good question. Okay, anybody else? Okay. All right, well, if we don't have any other questions, I'm gonna go ahead and, is there something in the chat? Hold on, maybe I'm missing something. Oh, Sherry. Okay, what do you teach in classes? Oh wait, I answered that. That was the 101, the basic. Okay, we got that. So if there's no more questions, I'm just gonna go ahead and let you guys know what my incentive is that I'm super excited about. So if you are on this call and you are a distributor, which pretty much means you're just starting out, you might not even have anybody on your team, or you could have a couple people, it just depends. A distributor, a star, or a senior star, if you're any of those ranks, I want to encourage you to, between now and the end of August 31st, to teach 12 classes. And if you teach 12 classes, you have to commit to it. So I'm gonna post something on Freedom Seekers so I can keep track of this, okay? But you just have to commit to 12 classes. Say, yes, I'm in, I'm gonna commit to this. And as long as you teach those 12 classes between now and the end of August, your name is going to go in a drawing, and I'm going to pick 2 people out of that drawing to go with us on our leaders retreat in January. I've found this really cool location. So if you're in Canada, you need to come to Michigan, hang out with us. It's not far, really. And if you're in Florida, I know at Florida Peeps, you guys need to hop a plane, and you just have to pay for your air flight. I'm not going to pay for that. But I am going to pay for 2 people to stay, and that includes your food and your boarding at this really cool resort that I'm working out all the details. And normally I just invite either executives above or silvers above. It just kind of depends where we're at, and how many people can fit at the resort is how many people I'll invite. But you get to spend the whole weekend with us, okay? So 2 people are going to win this, and all you have to do is commit to 12 classes between now and the end of August. So what do you guys think? Do you like that? I would love to have you guys come hang out with us, because we have a lot of fun. And that's the second weekend in January is when we have our leaders retreat. We like to kick off the year, the new year, new start. So, oh, you like it, Jimmy? Awesome. Christy, any size class, including one-on-ones. Yep, absolutely. I would include one-on-ones. To me, that's a class, so it doesn't matter. One-on-ones. Okay. Yeah, awesome. Okay, M. Derb. Oh, is that Mary? That's Mary, I think. Mary? I'm trying to figure out who that is. When you hold a class, do you sign everyone under the host, or only if they sign up for ER? Okay, good question. So when I hold a class, I always put the people that they invite under them, always, no matter what. I put them below, okay? Now, I guess if they're going to be like really persistent and say, don't do that, but I'm going to be like, hey, you're going to get a $50 check for every single person that you signed up. So if you sign up 5 people at your class, you're going to get a nice check. But all they have to do is place an order. Most of the time, I've taught classes for brand new people, and then those people sign up, and with their starter kit, that automatically gets the purchase of their starter kit, qualifies them for a check. So I hope that answers your question, Mary. I think that's Mary. All right, any other questions? Good question. Uh-oh, what'd I do? I lost my screen.
I was wondering, what if we plan on being executive before August?
What if you, oh, well, no, you're good. It's from whatever, there you are. Whatever, I lost my screen. I lost you guys for a second. It's whatever rank you are right now.
Okay.
So yeah, just as long as you're a distributor, a star, or a senior star. So I like your goals. Woo-woo. You go, Jerry. Okay. Anybody else have questions? Let's see. Trying to scroll down. I think I covered them. Did I miss anybody? Oh, there's one. Okay. What the ratio classes filled versus non? What ratio of classes filled versus non? Jenna, can you jump on and explain that? Because I don't know if I'm quite catching that. The ratio of how many people are in the class, or what do you mean? Are you there, Jenna? I can't hear you. Is that you? No. Jenna? Okay. Sorry, I don't know. Okay. Oh yeah, that was you. Okay, great. People who show up versus non-showing. Oh, are you talking about for the qualification of the incentive? So people who show up versus non-showing. So my recommendation, that's a good question. I mean, I wouldn't want you to have 12 classes with 12 no-shows. That's not our goal, okay? So what I always did for my business is I always said, okay, I'm going to have 10 classes, but I like to teach where you overbook yourself, because you're always going to have those random people that are either going to need to reschedule for whatever reason. There could be an emergency, or they just have to reschedule. You're always going to have that. You're always going to have no shows and different things like that. So to me, I would always try to put 13 classes on my calendar in a month and know that at least 10 will hold, because you're always going to have those random things happen. It's called life. We all have them happen. So if you do that, if your goal is to do the 12 classes between now and August, then kind of just overschedule. Maybe like do 15. So you're doing 3 or 4, whatever, in a month. And if you have one canceled, then you still have something to back yourself up and know that your business is still going to move forward. So I hope that helps. People who show up, teaching classes. I've done a couple, and there have not been any people who show up. How can you change that? Okay, good. How can you change that? So I guess it depends on who is having the class, or if this is just a class that you've thrown together and you're asking people. I try to personally reach out to people by phone and just communicate. I guess it just depends on how well you communicate with the person and get their class all ready. And I can tell you, I've started doing the Sarah Harnish technique on Facebook. I would say invite your people who invite 50 of their Facebook friends to this class. You will receive a free gift at the class. I did that at a class that I traveled to Holland, so on the other side of the state of where I am. And we ended up having 10 people there. And originally the girl only had like 2 people RSVP. And I looked at that and I'm like, I'm not driving all the way to Holland for just a very tiny little bit. It took me a couple hours to drive there. So I'm like, I'm going to try this Sarah Harnish technique and see if it works. And so sure enough, I did. And we ended up having 10 people there, and I gave out a few small gifts. It doesn't have to be anything extravagant. But then they schedule classes from there. That's another thing I highly recommend, is always schedule classes from your class. That is, personally, I would much rather schedule classes from classes than even get new member signups, because that's going to be more valuable for you in the long run than even the new member signups, because that means your calendar is always going to be consistently full. So I like to take little gifts, whatever I have extra. Right now I have so many different oil, like I have tons of pan away for whatever reason. It's because they gave a lot of pan away for the freebies. I like to take my freebie oils and I recycle them and I give them out for gifts. I like to use them too, but a lot of times I'll do that. And so that's what I do with my freebie gifts, because I figure, well, it's a good investment and it's putting back into so I give them bottles of oil for scheduling classes at classes. This week I taught a class and I did not have one single sign up yet. They're coming. And I ended up scheduling 2 classes off of that class. So one girl is so excited about this that she created her Facebook page all herself, the Facebook invite. She was thanking me over and over again. She already has 5 or 6 people coming in. Her class isn't until June. And I'm like, okay, I think you're a builder, girl. We got to get you going. So, and then the other one, I called her once. I got to call her again. I can't even get a hold of her. And she just wanted me to come over and talk to her and her husband. So I don't know. Most of the time they work out. Sometimes it doesn't. You just have to keep plugging away, plugging away, plugging away. Okay, I hope that helps and gives an answer. How do we verify we're on the call? Oh, hi, Steve. It's good. I'm just gonna do like a graphic either tonight or tomorrow, and you guys can just say Mimi, and I'll just have a sign up for the next 2 weeks, and then I will close that post. and then that will just show me who's going to participate. So once I post that, just put yourself there on Freedom Seekers, and then I'll close it in 2 weeks. I'll give you guys 2 weeks to sign up, because there might be other people who watch this recording that want to sign up too. So, okay, well, it's after 10. So do we have other people host a class for us? Yes. Yes, so you can either host, when you're first starting out, you'll host your own classes because you're starting to tell your friends and family about this. But then you're going to go with those people, and because they're going to get their kits, you're going to go and teach an educational class at wherever they want to teach. I've taught so many classes at Panera Bread, coffee house, different public locations, because I don't like to put people pressured to have to clean their house to have people over. Some people don't like that. Some people do. Just depends. But I never like say, hey, do you want to just, or I always say, just want to do it at a coffee shop and meet somewhere so you don't have to clean. So it just depends their life circumstances. I teach in homes, and I would teach in a public location as well. So, okay. All right, you are welcome. Is the hostess a member? The hostess does not have to be a member. No, I've done it both ways, members and non-members. And I always sign those people up and put them below the person. Even if they're not a member, they sign up at their class and they become a member, and then I put all those people that they referred under them, and they get the check from Young Living. It's exciting to get your first check from Young Living. My first check was $50. I was like, what? Why did I get this check? It's because my friend Mary signed up for oils. I had no idea what I was doing. So, all right, I think, looks like, I hope I got through all the questions. So, and it's after 10. So I think we're going to be done. And you guys are so welcome. And I'm so glad you've been here. So thanks for coming, everybody. Have a great night.